Another video where I'm talking about things here, and just want to go over bridging marketing skills like SEO, marketing powers like SEO, organic search, from traditional web marketing powers, right? Getting up in the Google SERPs and the Yahoo SERPs and the Bing SERPs and other SERPs to be listed as an authoritative source in large language models, right? Sort of, as they call them, generative AI tools, like Gemini, ChatGPT, et cetera, et cetera. Right? The list goes on forever. At this point, there's no shortage of them popping up every day, and there's certainly a lot of them. Some better than others, but they're gaining popularity. While there's still a relatively small percentage of the overall um, way that people discover products, they're growing rapidly. And the old forecasts from even a few months ago that assumed that it would be another few years before traffic is mainly going to generative AI to find things is radically changing very quickly. Now, sure, a few years from now, there will still probably be search engines doing very well, relatively, and getting a lot of traffic, and people who rank well in them will still probably get a fair amount of traffic. But um, there is no doubt, right, that there needs to be a uh, change in the way digital marketers strategize and implement tactics that get them listed as an authoritative source in large language models. I've written a piece about this, posted this on my LinkedIn. You can just find me, search for my name on LinkedIn, you'll find me. And you can find my article posted recently there. Actually, I think I published it on my front-facing agency's website, which is just my name, yashaharari.com. And if you go there, you can see the article in the recently published blogs, and it explains how to transition, how to bridge your SEO to LLM to be listed as an authoritative source in the LLMs. That doesn't mean you're going to stop doing traditional SEO, at least not for the foreseeable future. But there certainly will come a time when you'll be doing less of that and more of the LLM stuff. And you should, in the meantime, prepare by already gaining traction, even though it's already not, you're not the newest, it's not the newest tool in the shed at this point, right? They're already a few years old at this point, but it's still relatively early in the big scheme of things, right? They're still only a couple, like 2.5 years old, really, since like November, October of 2022, when they became kind of suddenly popular because of ChatGPT. Now, if you manage to get yourself listed quickly as an authoritative source, which you can do by following any of the various steps that I've listed in that article. And basically, what you need to do is you need to be an authoritative source by creating authoritative content. Okay, and one of the ways you do that is you have high quality content just like you would for Web 2, and you make sure that the pages are easy for the LLMs to read, just like you would make sure that they're easy for the web crawlers to read. Right? It's very similar in a lot of ways, but there's different ways you want to do this. Some slight differences are you want to make sure that you either get, links back to that page from highly authoritative sources. Yes, like you would again for regular web pages, right? But you want to see that your page comes up as a source for the answer when you do queries relevant to that page. So you design not just for keywords, but for natural search queries that can even be relatively long, like fairly long tail, because people don't just ask, short 5-word questions in LLMs, right? They're kind of having conversations. So you want to make sure that you're answering questions that are asked in, long form natural language questions. And as you do that, if you answer the questions authoritatively on a given page, and if you remember the old silo model that people used and still do, but that was much more successful 10, 15 years ago in traditional SEO, it's once again successful with LLMs. You can have landing pages with the answers, and then you can silo and have different sub pages, that branch out from there and answer other questions related to it, right? And then, of course, having high quality links to external sites, having high quality internal links as well, and not making it a keyword crazy page, but focusing on the actual topic, then you're much more likely to get the ranking or the listing, if you will, in the LLM. And hello there, I see you. Hi. So that's one easy way to get ranked properly, or to get listed really, as an authoritative source in an AI LLM like ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot. And if you do, or Perplexity, or wherever you're searching for. Well, Perplexity, people use it for different things, but any of the tools that people are actually searching for stuff on, especially products, right? And of course, you want to show up in the places where people are actually discussing stuff. So you want to be on the social media platforms, not to get the traffic to your site, because they deliver basically no traffic to sites anymore, but to talk about your product on the social media platforms, and to make the topic of conversation be active on those various social platforms where people are talking about that kind of product. Maybe they're not talking about yours yet, but they're talking about similar products. So you want to find similar niche discussions, and you want to activate similar niche content there that informs people about your products there, and even make it available for purchase on that site if possible, because again, those platforms are not delivering traffic to people's sites anymore. Anyway, pretty much, for the most part. Anyway, we'll continue the discussion later. Have a great day. Cheers.